Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to start Module 2, and the title is Communication. We are going to study Unit 4. The title is Communicating. Why do you think communication is important? Why do people communicate? Hands up, please. Subhi.
To make life more easy.
To make our life easier. And what else? Why do communicate? Hilary.
To exchange ideas and tell people how we feel.
Very good. So communication is important to exchange our ideas, opinions, and feelings, to express our thoughts. So communication is very important. It's a part of our being what? Human beings. Okay, how did people communicate in the past? How did people communicate in the past? Amr Mahmoud.
Says by bird and camel.
By using what?
By using a bird and a camel.
Birds. You mean they used to send messages. You used to send messages by sending birds like pigeons, or people send messages by messengers. All right, good. So how did people communicate in the past? Abdullah Mustafa.
We communicate in the past by messenger.
By messengers, people who carry messages from place to place.
Yes.
In the past, people used traditional ways for communication. I'm not talking about specifically about what? About sending messages. I'm talking about communication in general. First, people communication face to face, orally. They used to tell stories from generation to generation, and then they learned how to write or how to paint. So they painted pictures, or they wrote some writings on stone, like the ancient Egyptian. Then they used what? They used modern means like the radio, the TV, the satellite. And nowadays, how do we communicate nowadays? Hilary.
By mobile phones, emails.
Yes. By using mobile phones, by using the computer, by using the internet, the satellite. Yusuf Hamdi.
By internet connection.
Yes, by
To pass
internet.
information.
Yes, very good. So communication is very important, and listening is an important aspect of effective communication. If you want to have an effective communication or a successful communication, you have to listen to the other person well. How do you feel when you talk to someone who doesn't listen to you? How do you feel? Subhi. How do you feel when you talk to someone who doesn't listen to you? I'm talking to you and you don't listen to me. How do I feel? Of course, I feel what?
I feel nervous.
Yes, I feel nervous.
Angry
I feel angry. I feel upset. Ayub.
I feel like they're not interested in my conversation and don't want to talk to me.
Very good. Yes. So you stop communication with him. You stop communicating. Right. Good. How can you be a good listener? How can you be a good listener? If you want to be a good listener, what are the qualities, or what should you be? What should you do to be a good listener? Ilari.
We shouldn't interrupt the speaker. We also
Very good. We shouldn't interrupt the speaker. Yes.
We also should show interest in what subject they're talking about.
Very good. We should show interest. Good. Ilari, thank you very much. Abdullah Al-Falaki.
I should be tolerate.
I should be a tolerant person. I should be patient. Good. I should be attentive. Munir.
I should we should listen with empathy.
Good, we should listen with empathy. You read the lesson today. Very good, Munir. Thank you. So, why is it important to be a good listener? Why? Why is it important to be a good listener? Amr Mahmoud.
Says to feel comfortable about want or need.
Very good. Yusuf Yasser.
To listen to the problem and think to how to solve it.
Good, thank you. So it's important to be a good listener, to be recognized and to be remembered, to feel valued, to feel appreciated, to feel respected, to feel understood, to feel comfortable about a want or a need. So listening carefully is a sign of respect. Let's learn some of the new vocabulary through the text or through the sentence we are presenting today. What is the difference between passive listening and active listening? So we have two kinds of listening, passive listening and active listening. Ilari.
I'm not sure, but passive listening,
What do you think?
I think passive listening is listening while you are not, you don't
You are
need
not
to
paying
listen, but you
attention.
listen by mistake. And active listening when you sit there and take
You
take
participate
the
in the
decision to
conversation.
listen.
Good, thank you. Abdullah, Mustafa.
The active listening, I give care to the speaker, and I get a new information. But passive listening don't get care to speaker, and I not have any information.
Thank you. So passive listening to hear, just to hear. And active listening is listening to understand. So it's important to have active listening. You should listen carefully to understand, to solve the problem, to share and exchange your feelings, your ideas, your opinions with the other person. Effective communication is an essential component, an essential element of healthy relationships. So, in order to have a good relationship with others, you should have effective communication. Whether it is an interpersonal, it means interperson between persons or people, or organizational, as it is between companies. So we have two relationships. We have two relationships: interpersonal with people and organizational with companies or organizations.
Defensiveness.
Defensiveness. Defensiveness. It comes from the word defense. Defensiveness. Defensiveness, behaving in a way that other people are criticizing you. So you begin to defend yourself. You begin to talk angrily. Defensiveness. Defensiveness. A major source of communication problems is defensiveness. What causes communication problem? Defensiveness. Defensiveness is the major source or the major reason for having bad communication or ineffective communication.
Adjustment.
Adjustment. Adjust. Modify. Adjustment. Modification. A change in the way someone behaves or thinks. These glasses needs adjustment. It needs modification. It needs repair, adjustment. The following list provides some suggestions for effective listening when confronted with any kind of communication. If you have any kind of communication, you should follow these instructions to have effective listening. What are the good listening skills? Listen openly with empathy to the other person. Empathy.
Empathy.
Feelings of others. Showing what sympathy. So number one, listen openly with empathy. showing your feelings, sharing feelings with other people to the other person. Number 2, practice supportive listening instead of one-way listening. Look at the two pictures here. The first one, they are having a supportive listening. They are supporting the other person. And on the second picture, picture on the right, here the husband is not listening to his wife. So there is one-way listening. One-way listening. So you should practice supportive listening instead of one-way listening. Ask for paraphrases and repetition to make sure you understand the message. If you don't understand something, you should ask the other person to repeat or to say it again if you don't understand. So you can ask someone to paraphrase. You can ask someone to explain or repeat. Listen between the lines. The best listeners listen between the lines. You are going to learn what does it mean, listening between the lines when you read the text. Listen between the lines. Number 5, neither control the conversation nor interrupt your interlocutor. Interlocutor, what does it mean, interlocutor?
Interlocutor.
Interlocutor. It means the speaker, the other person, someone who is involved in the conversation, as Ilari said. So you shouldn't interrupt the other speaker or the other interlocutor. Interlocutor, the other person who is involving in the conversation. Don't react to emotional words, but interpret their purpose. ما تأثرش بالكلمات الكلمات اللي هي فيها عواطف والمشاعر. You should interrupt or you should interpret their purpose. You should translate the purpose. أنت لازم تفهم الغرض منها أو ترجمها. Don't judge before you comprehend. ما تحكم قبل ما تفهم. You shouldn't judge before you understand. Don't judge before you comprehend. Being a good and patient listener helps you to see the world through the eyes of others, thereby enhancing your empathy. Enhance. Enhance means to improve the quality, to value, to strengthen. Enhance, to improve, to develop. Enhance. The essence of empathetic listening is not that you agree with someone, it's that you fully, deeply understand the person. So what's important? What's important? You should understand the person. You shouldn't show only your feelings or empathy, but you should understand what is behind the message. So
Capacity.
So being a patient listener helps you to enhance your capacity for empathy. Capacity means the ability or the power to do something. Capacity means the ability. To conclude, there is nothing better than listening to the wisdom of others in order to increase your own. So you should listen to people's wisdom. You should listen to the old people. If you want to increase your own wisdom, there is a Native American proverb that says, listen or your tongue will keep you deaf. استمع وإلا لسانك سيجعلك أصم. What does this proverb mean? Listen or your tongue will keep you deaf. Ilari?
Means that if you talk a lot, you won't be able to listen, so you would be like a deaf person.
Very good, thank you. Abdullah, Mustafa? What do you think?
Marcus,
Yes.
the truth is a double-edged sword.
Yes, you should listen to the wisdom of others in order to increase your own. So if you want to understand, if you want to increase your knowledge or your wisdom, you should listen carefully. Okay?
Okay.
Distraction.
Distraction. Distraction. These people are not working. They are using the mobile phone. So these mobile phones cause distraction. Distraction. Something that interferes with concentration or takes attention away. While I'm teaching you the lesson, other people are using the mobile phone for playing games. You shouldn't use anything that cause distraction or lose your concentration. Distraction تشتيت الذهن. So using mobile phones or watching TV can cause distraction. They can stop you from concentrating on your studies or on your lessons. Block.
Block out.
Block out. Block out. To stop yourself from thinking about an unpleasant memory because it upsets you. The cloud can block out the sun. Block out, can hide. Block out.
Assumption.
Assumption. Assumption is a noun. The verb assume. Assumption. Assumption. A thing that is accepted as true and certain to happen without question or proof. Assumption. افتراض. Assumption.
Non-verbal.
Non-verbal. Non-verbal. These people are not talking. They are using what? They are using non-verbal signs. إشارات غير لفظية. Non-verbal. Non-verbal, not using words or speech. They are using what? They are using their facial expressions. Someone is sad. How do you know? From his face, from his gestures or signs. So non-verbal, not using words or speech. The opposite is verbal, using words or speech. Now let's do this exercise. Complete with words from the list. Adjustment, enhance, block out, assumption, interlocutor, non-verbal. Abdullah Assam is here. Abdullah Assam. Abdullah Assam, raise your hand, please. Okay, who can answer number one? Muhammad Majdi.
أستاذ يعني إيه deaf أستاذ؟
Deaf means someone who cannot hear, and dumb someone who cannot speak. يبقى
use
deaf
a non-verbal.
أطرش, dumb أبكم. Yes.
Use a non-verbal way to communication.
Very good, thank you. The deaf and dumb use a non-verbal way of communication. Very good. Omar Ahmed.
The picture isn't clear on TV. The dish needs some adjustment.
Very good. صلح الدش. Yes, the dish isn't clear on TV. The dish needs some adjustment, modification. Very good. Yusuf Ala.
معاك يا أستاذ.
يوسف علاء.
Your fluent English will your fluent English will your change your
chances of getting the job. Munir. Thank you, Yusuf.
Enhance.
Enhance. Your fluent English will enhance your chances of getting a job. So if you want to get a good job, you should improve your fluent English. You should speak fluently. So it will enhance, it will improve. Okay, thank you. Ayub bin Farid.
This mission doesn't bear any wrong. Assumption or death will be our end.
Very good. This mission doesn't bear any wrong assumption, افتراض, or this will be our end. Very good. Number 5, Abdullah Assam. Abdullah, hands up, please. Abdullah Assam. Yusuf Salah, yes, Yusuf.
Says the curtains block out.
The curtains block out the light. Very good. Why don't you remove them? Excellent, Yusuf. Thank you. Okay. Now, discuss the following question. What do you think are the characteristics of a good listener? As you mentioned before, if you want to be a good listener, what should you do? What are the characteristics, the qualities of a good listener? Amr Mahmoud.
As a good listener should be clever and
yes,
and painted.
Patient. Patient. Thank you. Muhammad Majdi.
Said they don't judge before you complete.
Yes, you shouldn't judge before you comprehend or understand. Very good. Thank you. So, a good listener should be attentive, clever, patient, and thoughtful. He should listen fully and with understanding. You shouldn't judge before you comprehend. Okay. Now, do you think that you are a good listener and your friend is a good listener? Do you have these characteristics or qualities? What do you think? What about you? What kind of person are you, Hilary?
I think I'm a pretty good listener because I never interrupt people while they're speaking, and I can show interest and empathy, and I think I am smart enough to understand what they actually mean.
Thank you. Excellent. So, our topic today, you are going to read an article about the skills of effective listening. The skills of effective listening. You read, find the answer to these questions. Please read the article to find the answers for these questions. First, let's read the questions and understand them. What is the most common communication problem according to the article? The most common communication problem. How would you deal with it? How would you fix it? How would you solve it? Why is empathy an essential factor for healthy communication? Why is empathy or sympathy, sharing feelings, is an essential factor, an important element for healthy communication? See, what does the article mean by listening between the lines? Listening between the lines, it's an expression. What do they mean by this? And what do you understand of the verb cited in the last line of the article? In the last line of the article, there is an ancient, a Native American proverb that says, listen or your tongue will make you deaf. What does it mean? Please read the article to find the answer for these questions. Communication breakdown. You've got here paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and you've got some suggestions and then conclusion. Read the article. I'll give you 4 minutes to read the article silently.